Hello there. Welcome back to Canada Challenge. We're going to continue where we left off. About to jump into Belgium. But before that, though, I just want to spend a few seconds here with thinking what I want to do going forwards. Because as we saw last time, we are getting very close to challenging for podiums, wins, championships. And we do have a very big upgrade package coming with both the wings and the underfloor within a few months. So once we get that, we might actually become kind of unbeatable. At least Stroll will. So I'm thinking that we are going to slow things down just a tad. I don't want to do, say, this season and then the next, and then we're done. That would that would not be the point of the challenge game. So what I'm thinking is that we restrict our drivers a little bit here. 90 braking is a tad bit too much, but we've already gotten there basically with Stroll here. We're going to give him 90, and basically then let's say that we have to do them in order, bottom to top maybe, to slow us down a bit, to actually get the other stats up. And we'll do the same for Latifi. We'll bring up to 90, then we'll do probably 70, 80, and 90 across the board, just to slow us down a little bit more. But we'll also see what we do in terms of part creation. What I'm thinking here is that once we get these 3 new parts here in just 23 days, we go ahead and we focus on cooling. And we say that cooling cannot be lower than, say, 10%. Of our highest attributes. So in this case, downforce is kind of hard to calculate, but drag reduction and airflow sensitivity is easy. So if we use this as an example, for the airflow here, 73, 71, we'd have to have brake cooling at 63 minimum before we can focus on the part again. So I'm thinking we do that just to balance things out a little bit going forwards. It's going to probably slow us down a little bit next season, so that we'll still be fighting for top 2, top 3, but I don't think we'll win, and that is the main concern here. If we win a little bit too quickly, it's going to be a bit sad. Rear wing doesn't have any cooling, so we don't need to be concerned with that. So we'll still have a strong underfloor, we'll still have a strong rear wing, but the front wing and suspension, side pods, chassis will all have cooling applied to them, so just slow us down that little bit. Let me know what you think. I think it might not be enough, that we might need to slow ourselves down a little bit more. But I think it's a good start that we can do, and then work from there. So again, let me know what you think. If it's enough, if I should do more, because I am enjoying this game and I would like it to last a little bit longer. I don't really have any plans for starting up another save until 23 comes out. We're still, what, 19 days away from Deluxe Edition. So with that in mind, we kind of need this save to last 3 more weeks if we want to keep having content. Again, I'm still aiming for about a season a week. I think I'm a little bit behind in that regard. But let's say that we need at least 2 more seasons. So this one and then maybe 2 more. So that's going to be the goal. We'll see how it plans out, but that is my plans going forward. Let me know what you think. And I'm still trying to find a good middle ground here for the microphone. I feel like it's picking up a lot more of my weird noises, so apologies for that. But yeah, that is what I'm thinking. So let's go straight into Belgium. Sorry for my little rant in the beginning, but I thought it might be a good idea to get my thoughts clear on that. So let's get into it, see if we can get some good points. Alright, we had a rather good qualifying, as you can see, 2nd and 7th. Q3 was wet. We got out in the Inters, as you can see. Stroll 2nd. We have both Verstappen and Perez behind us. Verstappen taking penalties, Leclerc taking penalties, Alonso taking penalties, so chances are good here, if you consider the fact that Sainz is Perez and Sainz will be the only Ferrari Red Bull combo. Gasly up front, though, could be a bit of a problem, but I think we'll be fine. So generally, good quality. I was considering taking penalties here, but seeing that we're starting front row, I think I'll wait, and that should be okay. Now, in terms of tyre strategy here, pit lane is short, just 20 seconds. The softs here degrade fairly quick within 5 laps, but if you consider that the total race distance is just 44 laps, they're still probably worth it for, again, those 10, 11 laps you could run them. Now, mediums to hards is, as you can see, just 100, which means that mediums will be better for 20 laps, basically half the race if you can run them. So with a short pit lane, things like that, again, the hards versus softs within 10 laps, the softs will be slower than the hards. So I don't think unless we have a safety car doing the 2-stop here, it's probably not worth it just from a tyre perspective. But we're going to see what we can do if we want to start in the mediums and then go hard. It's probably the best strategy. The softs do the grade fairly quick, and as you can see, the strategy window does agree with me. But what I'm thinking is that we go mediums, and if we get a safety car where we can make something happen, we can change it up. But it's honestly probably just the best strategy here, let's be honest. There's nothing really special about it, it's just the facts. So with that, I think we're ready. We're going to start second and sixth, so good chances here if Latifi can hold up the cars behind. That would be amazing, but we'll have to see. Could be great, could be horrible.
You can hear the excitement in the crowd here at the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Lights out, away we go. Latifi didn't get a good start by the looks of things, unless it's going to come back at him. Looks like he is going to do that, so maintaining. Maybe you get a run on science there? Nah, tad too far back. As you see, we have 3 soft runners among us. Well, 6 of them technically in top 10. They're going to be just a tad slower.
Doing what you're doing.
And as you see, Latifi has already overtaken them. What I mean by tad slower is the full stint. So honestly, getting by them and just kind of holding them up would be great, but Latifi is actually having a proper fight here with Sainz, but he did get by. Stroll is failing with overtaking Gasly. It's not really a concern. Even if we just tuck him behind, it's not bad. And as I said, as long as Latifi can stay with the train, we'll allow him to stay with the train, but if he becomes, you know, a chicane, as he has been this season, kind of a nice little blocker, protector of Stroll, then we'll do that too. But for now, things are looking good. We'll just allow him to run, and we'll see if anything happens before the first pit stop around lap 20. We've had an incident. We have a safety car around lap 10. This is actually a blessing for the soft runners, as you might guess. They, I think, will peel in most of them. This would make most sense, unless they're going to basically run it immediately after the safety car. Schumacher seems to be involved, but I think we're just going to stay out. We don't really have a choice. The safety car is actually very ill-timed for us because, well, we were creating a gap here down to Albon, Alonso. They were doing a good job holding up the, Verstappen, Leclerc, once on the charge. So, again, a bit unfortunate, but it looks like probably Schumacher sent Ocon flying by the looks of things.
DRS is currently disabled.
And it's the angle where we usually don't get to see what happens, so let's see if they... That looks like target acquired missiles. Jesus. Oh, that's unfortunate, honestly. But it is what it is. We'll see now if they do come in for the safety car. If they don't, it actually benefits us. But yeah, it's a bit unfortunate there because that will close down that 10-second-ish gap we had. And as you see, the soft runners are pitting. Honestly, everyone is pitting. I guess they're going to be on the hard stand to the end. That's a big one. What we probably could have done here would be to pit onto a new set of mediums. But we might actually be in a... We're going to be in a rough situation now because there's a lot of hard runners. It's a bit of a shame for...
Okay, we're happy to push.
Sorry, we don't want to go attack. As I was saying, it's a bit of a shame for Rick and the other soft runner in Albon. But Albon is actually going to be playing potentially MVP here now for us. We need him to hold them up so we can reinstate the gap. And... get something done here before we pit around lap 20-ish. So we have about 8 laps now to get something, done. So Latifi, we're actually just going to run him on neutral. Don't really need him to push to overtake. So yeah, the gap has been reinstated here. Well, it was there for a second, but we do need to get that gap going because if we do not, then we're going to be in trouble. Stroll did get the overtake done on Gasly. And what I'm thinking is that we're just going to push Stroll, even if we end up
DRS is
dragging
enabled.
Latifi outside of DRS. It is gonna
Stop the
be
lap.
worth it because we do need to get that gap reinstated so that we can get the pit stop done without ending up at the back of the grid. So we'll see just how much we can gain on these next few laps here, but it's gonna be probably a bit rough. Gap has already been reinstated down to Albon, to Hamilton,
You're doing very
and
good. Lap time
that
are
is
good,
gonna
lap time
help
are
us.
good.
But we'll have to see. We might actually just extend the stint slightly. For now, though, we'll just keep running, and it's already looking kind of good here. But yeah, we'll probably come out in the back, and everyone has pitted, so yeah, we're gonna have to probably extend, as I said, these mediums for longer than we would have liked. We'll see. We'll have to compare lap times. As you can see, we've gotten to the point where our lap times now are slower than cars behind for the most part, so I think we're going to have to pit. If we're lucky, we might come out ahead of show, but again, that's going to be a bit of a challenge here. Latifi, we're going to have to run on standard because, well, we can't really double stack. It's going to hurt us even more. So we're going to have to get Stroll in first. He is running in first. He has the best chance, and again, we're just going to have to hope that we can get out ahead of some of them here. We'll have to see. Okay, Stroll, that is unfortunate. Second Stroll pits, we might get a safety car. He did come out in 9th though, so he did come out ahead of the
Safety car.
upper tower. But this is going to help Latifi. And we'll have to see here if the rest actually do pit again, because if so, we might just get, there's no need to get Stroll in again. But that's a bit unfortunate. We pulled a Verstappen. Okay, another assassination. That one looked a bit rougher though, let's be honest. So Stroll pits, come out in 9th. We did lose a lot of track position. But what we will do now is try and get... again, just get Latifi in. And he should maybe even retain. We'll see. 11 seconds under safety car. So if we're lucky, he might come out... Well, he'll come out ahead of battle. But we'll have to see if we can do a pit stop that is quick enough that he comes out ahead of, as you can see, Leclerc would be the dream. But that one's going to be tough. So we're just giving Latifi everything here. He's allowed to use everything he has to just get into pit lane ASAP. And yeah, getting out ahead of Leclerc is going to be impossible challenge, probably. We'll see. Yeah. Did come out ahead of Stroll, but that is a bit unfortunate. Nothing we really can do about it, though. But we'll have fresher tires now. And hopefully we can use that to our advantage to, fight our way up to the top again. Verstappen, though, is going to be a problem. Yeah, a bit unlucky here.
Safety car in this lap. So just
Probably should have just pitted on that first safety car, but that's on me. I thought we'd be okay just staying out. Let's get standard, push fuel. And we are going to be trying to get as many overtakes done as we can before we get to get the RS unlocked again. So hopefully we can have Latifi do some things here. Looks like he's going to have a bit of a rough time though. Stroll actually overtakes him without ERS, so we'll see if Stroll can get some more done here. We have Alonso, Magnussen, and DRS is going to be now this next lap, so we're probably going to have to do some sort of micromanagement, but I would think we can get some overtakes done. I hope, at least. But for now, I'm going to keep on working, and we'll see if we can get ourselves up to the podium places again. Okay, never mind.
Sorry. Okay.
Why are you sorry, Stroll boy?
There's contact. It's
Game
chaos
straight
on the
up
track.
heard me
Let's take a
say
look at the replay.
that
Now we
I
see
wanted more
Williams
difficulty.
here. And there's the collision. It's caused absolute carnage.
So yeah,
And the team had such high hopes today.
That's gonna suck because that's basically, I think, means Stroll's gearbox is gone, at the very least. We don't really need to watch the rest of the race here, so let's jump to the results and see what the results actually are. This is super unfortunate. Okay, race is over. 1-2 for Ferrari. Verstappen on the podium. I probably jinxed it in the beginning when I said about Leclerc and Verstappen takes penalties. That's good for us. Get him out of the way. One wins, the other gets on the podium. Magnussen gets points for Haas. McLaren gets points with Bottas. And we have both Astons in the points here. That's just how mad this race was. Gasly lost out big time. We also had Russell crash out. So 5 cars in total, considering that these two were also, lockups, assassination attempts. Potentially we could have had 7 cars out. So let's face it, it's an interesting race, but it just proves that we do need to focus on brake cooling. Stroll sails second, didn't lose out too badly to Verstappen, but then again, we'll have to see, because the problem here is the engine, sorry, not the engine, the gearbox, because it got hit in the back and then rear wing flew into the wall. So I assume that gearbox is gone. We'll have a look though. We didn't really lose out to anyone but Ferrari, so it's not bad. AlphaTauri now dead last, with that spot finally scoring points. But yeah, it's disappointing for sure. This is not what I meant when I said I needed more difficulty. But honestly, I should have seen it coming. Get a point in for braking there for Latifi, so I can avoid locking up. So ERS got broken. Gearbox got broken. At the very least, a difficult race. Yeah, I would agree it's a difficult race. We basically pulled an Alpine. Well, it isn't as bad as the Alpine situation in Australia, but it's still bad. So powertrain. Yeah, ERS fully gone. Which means we are going to have to take an ERS penalty. Engine broken. This was a fresh one. And gearbox 2 completely gone. Yeah, we're taking penalties next race. Doesn't even matter where we quali, we're taking penalties. Because we're going to have to. We could probably get away with just taking 2, but might as well just take all of them. Because that was a fresh gearbox, a fresh engine, and a fresh ERS. And all 3 got totaled. Now, how are you looking? You didn't get too much damage, but then again, you have a billion components. So honestly, I would have loved it if it was the other way around. Man has basically 5 usable engines. And I think we're a little bit over halfway through the season. So yeah, not very happy. How's the warehouse looking? We broke 2 chassis. That's not unexpected. Let's get two new ones made. Broke a front wing, I believe. Yeah. Let's get one of those made. And rear wing, we broke one of those. Yep, gets one of those made. I think we can have 4 projects going on at the same time, unless I'm mistaken. At least the underfloor survived, and we're gonna need 1 more side pod. There we go. We should have this all made before we, get our growth spurt here with the current projects here in 20 days. So we're fine. Well, we're not fine. We're crying inside, but we're fine. That's the official story. But yeah, we are going to have to, as I said, we are going to have to take penalties with Stroll this race. There's just no way around it. Which is unfortunate because it's just unfortunate, honestly. Once I basically become self-aware that we might need a bit more cooling, game's just like, yeah, you should have paid attention. We could have a wet quality though. That could open some things up for us. But yeah, we'll just get into this, get it done, and we'll be taking penalties for the race here in Zandvoort. As if we didn't have enough pain, Latifi picks up a grid penalty during P3. Yeah. That's us in a nutshell, unfortunately. But as I said, we are going to have to take penalties for Stroll. There's just no way around it. It's just what we're going to have to do. Honestly, I'm just going to leave it as is, because if I touch it, it's probably going to become, it's just going to implode. The car's just not going to be there anymore. We could, of course, run this engine for like a race or 2, but I think it's just we are going to have to take ERS penalties, and we are going to have to take gearbox penalties fairly soon. So we're just going to take all of them. Sandbot is not the worst track to overtake on. And we can do a fairly aggressive strategy that allows us to, you know, pit early, run the harder compound, maybe we'll see. For Latifi, though, he has no such concerns, but yeah, I think Latifi will be okay, no matter how many times he crashes. Now, I should probably knock on wood, but if he managed to break the components that he has, I'm actually going to be impressed. Now, we do have a potentially wet qualifying, so we'll see how this actually turns out. Well, it did get kind of interesting. We ended up 6th and 9th, so not the best quality, but still acceptable, both cars in Q3. We did get a wet Q2. Perez crashed out, so didn't set a time. Both Mercs out, Leclerc out, McLaren out, and as you see, more penalties, so we have some penalties behind us, but generally, I think we're gonna not have a good time here. Latifi is gonna be our best bet. So we'll have to see exactly where we start. Probably dead last even so. Yeah, we're starting 20th and 8th, so not too much we can do with that. It is what it is, though. We did decide to take the penalties here, so I can't really complain. Performance here, softs are quicker for 30 laps, mediums are quicker than hards for 30 laps. Pretty much the same as it usually is, soft, medium, soft here. It's going to be the best strategy probably. Pit lane is long though, with 28 seconds, so if we get a free pit stop, it is going to be for the best. But even without it, as you can see, the time isn't that different. It's basically if we can make up places and get by our, you know, our competitors. That's basically going to be the same here for both of them. Latifi just starting in the points, Stroll going to have to make up, you know, a ton of positions, so we are probably going to need a safety car, or 3 here, to make this work, I think.
The drivers are ready, and the crowds are waiting. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Alright. So, if Stroll immediately gets Schumacher here and maybe squeezes in between. Oh, that's a nice move. Okay, I did not see that one coming. That was actually masterclass. Looks like Schumacher is coming back at him. We're still running 3. Gonna get Alonso.
Williams there gaining several places in one go. Here's the replay. Now we see the Williams here.
That was actually beautiful. Stroll just does a double overtake on the inside there, just switches.
Nice work.
That was actually beautiful. Now Latifi is still running 8th, and in terms of tyre usage here, we have some used tyres ahead of us.
And there's an overtake from
And as you can see, most are on softs. There are some medium runners, but mainly just softs. So we'll see here exactly what Stroll can do. Alonso came back at him. It's gonna be back and forth a lot here. But hopefully we can push up, get those moves done on, well, the Astons for one. But we do have quite the climb here to get back up into the points, unfortunately. But we'll do our best. Pit stop is, well, in around 20 laps. We'll see what we can do, where we are at that stage. Unless, of course, we get a safety car before that. The second I say that, we get a safety car. It's actually hilarious. I think it took 10 seconds.
Safety car.
And then we have a safety car. Not necessarily a bad thing. Perez is out. Well, not a bad thing as in Perez is out. Not necessarily a bad thing as in we can save some tire. For Stroll here, it's actually kind of good. It closes the gap again. We can also recharge ERS. So we don't need to deal with DRS. So basically just resets it to race start. And allows us to potentially here just climb a bit more. So Sainz with a lockup. Did he hit Perez then? I think he just locked up on his own. Yeah. Because Perez was turn 1 here. But yeah, this gives us extra fuel, extra energy. Basically a very good position. Very good chance to climb even further up. And that's going to be, you know, the main idea. Also, of course, the fact that we're saving some tyre here.
Safety car in this lap.
Safety car is ending, so let's just get everything ready to go for a race. I can't speak today, my apologies. And the second we get by timing line, we can go overtake. So Stroll immediately gets show. Very good. If you can get, say, Ocon, Albon, maybe up to Leclerc, that would be amazing. Latifi is fighting Norris, so he also is getting some overtakes done. And we still need a little bit more top speed by the looks of things. Latifi up into 5th now. Very good. Again, Verstappen has already gotten outside of the DRS range, and with that in mind, he should just have basically a cruise here to victory. I don't see anything else really happening, so we'll continue doing a little bit of fighting here. We might go a little bit aggressive on the tires to try and get things done. Albon with a bit of an incident there. But yeah, as I said, we might go a little bit aggressive on the tires because we do have a little bit extra tire usage before lap 20. Should still be a lot quicker than the cars around us, so I wouldn't be too worried. I think what we're going to do is just go full on attack. And the goal is going to be straight up closing gaps, trying to get a little bit further up. And we're going to be pitting while the rest pit on lap 21. We're going to be just, once this is 20, we're going to get ready for pitting. And we're going to be pitting a couple of laps early. Let's be honest here. The softs are actually really good. Honestly, we could probably run them down to, the minimum here and still have an advantage. But I think what the idea here is that we try and get something done here, particularly for Stroll. He's up into 11th, so a good first stint. But if we can get into the pits slightly earlier, and again, the fresh mediums will be way better than the used softs at this stage. Maybe we can jump some of the cars in front. That would be the goal. And it's going to be a bit, difficult, but I think we can pull it off. So this next lap we're going to be pitting, and I think we're just going to be pitting both. And I'm pretty sure it is going to be worth it. So let's just get a setup with Stroll. We're going to get him on those mediums. And we're going to do the same here for Latifi. And as you can see, it's potentially 8/10 quicker. So if we run 2 laps, we're going to gain 1.5 seconds. That will be enough for Latifi to jump Gasly. And that's going to be the goal here. So both pits, we both come out with a little bit of fresh air in the back, which isn't too bad. Might be running things a little bit too quick here. And we also do have fuel now that we can push. So the only problem is that even if we push fuel, I think all we'll achieve is getting stuck behind this DRS train. Now, there are, again, a lot of soft runners that will be pitting within the next few laps. So I guess we can push up until we get to the back of the cars in front. And then we'll make a move then. But, yeah, there we go. Schumacher, Albon pits. Makes it a little bit easier now to climb up. We only have that 3-man now. And, again, we are the furthest up now in terms of pit time. So let's see what we're actually running in terms of lap times. 12. We're slower than Verstappen, and Verstappen has pretty damn used mediums here. So if you take that into consideration, Red Bull still is pretty dominant, but we are running 8/10 quicker than Sainz. For Stroll, that is 6/10 for Latifi. We are running quicker than, well, virtually everyone. Even set a fastest lap, so currently we're not in a bad position. I think we'll still push fuel. We're out the tires a little bit here, but track position does mean a lot here, so let's just keep things going. And we'll see where we actually end up. For now, though, we do need to try and get Latifi to climb a little bit here, so we'll recharge, and then we'll go for an attack. Here we are, pit stops are happening. As you can see, we have jumped all of them, which isn't that surprising. So long as Stroll also jumps Norris, we should be good. Nope. Stroll could not jump Norris, but he is up into 10th. And Norris is going to be on these tires to the end. So we'll have to see what the rest of them do here. Sainz still running his softs, means that he's going to do a one-stopper as well. He's just going to go into the hards to the end. So it's looking good. Let's be honest, it's looking good. The only concern that I have is a potential safety car causing us some pain.
overtake. He's overtake.
But as long as we can get by Norris fairly, you know, easily, I think Stroll will be good. We did get by
DRS is
Hamilton, but
disabled.
without energy
DRS is
here, I think we're
disabled.
just going to immediately get re-overtaken. But it looks like we are good. Stroll now just needs to catch up to, well, the back of the rest here. But like Sainz has pitted, we're about 2.5 seconds behind him. So we have gained a lot from that perspective. Gasly now in the pits. I'm pretty sure we are going to jump in with even... No, we didn't jump in with Stroll. But this just shows that we are getting closer, and it's going to be really, really interesting, that final soft stint, if we can make up for lost time. So, Latifi right now running good. Top 3 pitting. Verstappen, of course, is out before us. It's not even a discussion. And Stroll is now up into 6th. So, it's looking good. Looking promising. As long as we keep Latifi and Stroll away from each other, I think we'll be fine. We also do have overtake energy here. Let's see if we can get by Gasly. Well, we might have gotten... Yeah, we did. And we also got DRS there. So, I don't think it's enough to hunt down Norris, unfortunately. We could always slow down Latifi a bit, but I don't think that's worth it. So we'll just use a little bit of fuel. And we do want to pull away from Russell and his DRS train. If we could pull away from Gasly too, that would actually be the best thing. But as you can see, Latifi is actually quite a bit quicker than Stroll. So that is actually a bit of a surprise. Norris did overtake him though, so currently we'd like to actually get by and just push, but this isn't the worst situation either, as long as the gaps to behind us get bigger. But we'll take it a bit chill and see where we're at. We are going to be pitting again around lap 50, although I might just do it earlier if we have gaps. We'll see.
Another grip is just all over the
We've
place.
had yet another Latifi error. He has spun, and he's rejoining in 10th.
Yeah, the car is stuck.
It also did mean that Stroll lost a lot of time to the car in front, unfortunately. Didn't look like he lost a lot though, so a bit surprised that he's 2.5 seconds behind. But it is what it is. We were pushing the fuel. And the tires a bit, so that probably contributed. But yeah, we lost about 10 seconds for that spin. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Can't really do anything about it. We'll just try to make the best out of the current situation. There are a lot of gaps there, as you can see, so overtaking shouldn't be too difficult once we actually do pit. So we might start pushing. And as I said, just pit a few laps earlier. Basically getting into the pitting, you know, space there. I think we're going to push for one more lap, then pit. Again, the soft should last to the end. But if we want to push fuel, we also going to need to... We're going to need to have a little bit extra tires. So we'll do one more lap, and we'll be pitting now on lap 48. Verstappen just started it. So we'll finish this lap, then we'll pit. Both drivers, and we'll see what we can make out of this. Again, it's a bit risky doing the two-stopper, but it should be quicker as long as we don't get stuck behind others for too long. So let's see how this plays out for us here now. And let's see. Stroll will probably come out, well, hopefully ahead of Vettel, but could very well come out behind him. Yeah, he actually came out behind them. Nothing much, nothing too surprising there. I was just having a bit of a hope. But again, they are unused hards, all of them. We have fresher tires. It's about 10 seconds up to points. So I still think we have a chance here. The only issue would be a safety car. So we'll see how that plays out. Latifi is now out in basically the back because of his little incident. And again, we are going to save fuel a little bit here, but we're going to be working our way up the grid. And, as you can see, there is immediately a 3-man DRS train. That's actually going to be the biggest issue. But once we get by that, I think we'll have no problem here just climbing the order. Looks like the best we can hope for here is a fight for 6th. We still have ran pretty good though. We're running 10.4. We're actually running quicker than Verstappen right now. Latifi is kind of in a bit of a struggle here, so I think we're going to just go aggressive to the end for both of them. Tires will just barely survive it, so we're going to do it. And we do actually also have fuel that we can push if we see the need. So since we're actually in the back of a DRS trainer now, let's do that. And we'll also give him the overtake. And we'll see if we can make our way here up a slightly further up. If we can get the Haas in now too, that would actually be amazing, but can't really do that. Use a little bit too much fuel, which could backfire. Not fuel, energy, which could backfire. But we actually left Rick kind of behind here, so let's recharge a little bit here. Latifi has gotten by his train here. 8 seconds up to Leclerc though in 10th. I don't think Latifi is going to have much of a chance of getting into the points here, unless of course we get safety cars. So we're just going to tune things down a tad, recharge Stroll, and we'll be aiming for that 6th place, which of course isn't the best result we could have gotten here. But it's what it is with the penalties, with the Latifi spin. It's kind of what we expect. So maybe I just had a bit too much luck last time out, and that made me think that, oh, we're gonna be dominating a little bit earlier than expected. But as I said, could just been luck here. Now I thought we took Magnussen. There we go. We actually got him on the retry, and we actually got Russell there too. So I'm actually going to deploy ERS here because I think we can pull away from Russell and just give ourselves a safe pocket to run it. We can also tune down the tire usage here. Don't really need to waste any more tire. So we're now running comfortably in 6th. And again, I think that's the best we can hope for in this race. It's unfortunate with the penalties, but I believe next time around we're going to have the new parts, which should make us into a rocket ship here. So the negatives don't really have too much to say. It is racing. You're going to have accidents. You're going to spin. Latifi has been having a rough time, so we definitely do need to get cooling up. That's going to be my next priority. But yeah, as you can see here, we are unfortunately just a tad too slow to catch up to the cars in front, but it is what it is. I don't think we get any free positions there from a crash. No, it was Vettel.
Now look at this. It was the Alpha Tower.
Vettel crashed, which does not give us anything for free. Latifi ends 12th. It's not a bad result, let's be honest. Honestly, the only thing we're missing right now with Latifi is consistency. If you wouldn't crash, if you wouldn't spin, that would help a lot. But yeah, getting Stroll up into 6th is not the worst result here. We'll have to be happy with that. McLaren in the points, Ferrari, Alpha, Haas. And, well, we're still 2nd, so we got that going for us. Constructors, the other teams are, running away. McLaren caught up a ton here. Merc is just a single point behind us now. So we do have our work cut out for us if we want to fight for 3rd this season. Well, Alpha's kind of slow now, so maybe not. But yeah, let's put that point Stroll got into braking, and then we'll start focusing the other stats. This is probably a rule I should have implemented way earlier, but what I'm thinking now is that we get every stat to 80, starting at the bottom. So the next thing we'll do is put 2 points in adaptability. Then we'll put 5 points in reactions, and then 5 points in cornering. Then we'll put 2 points in, basically balance it, so the next thing we do is get to 82 overall from there. So 82 adaptability, 82 reactions, 82 cornering. Then we +1, +1, +1. Basically keep them equal until we get up to 90. And we'll do the same for Latifi, but again, we'll let him get to 90 first. It's arbitrary, but to be fair, I'm going to balance the drivers in that manner. Race sim is in poor condition. We do want to refurbish that because experience for our drivers, very important. Suspension has been manufactured, very nice. Car development. We're still quickest, well, fairly quick. Lacking a little bit in the cornering department. ATR period starts. I think this goes into Sidepod chassis. Be one of them. We're exceeding expectations, so the board is happy. Okay, we have... I forgot about Italy. We have Italy to do too, then we get the new car parts. Which means that we might actually just take penalties for Stroll here too, we'll see. This is a track that you can fairly easily overtake on, but again, high chance safety car, pit lane time loss. So it is a track where we can pull the rabbit out of the hat, potentially. But let's get it done, and then we'll see where we stand. Okay, Italian qualifying is done. We actually qualified 15th and 9th, but as you can see, penalties are pros a little bit upwards, but this is going to be a fairly tough race just in all. In terms of, yeah, qualifying position 9th and 15th. One stopper is what we expect. There is a very long pit lane. Could have a safety car that could change things around. But generally, the hard tire here is actually fairly good. Within, again, just 5 laps. 6 laps, the mediums are going to be equivalent to the hards. And for the softs, it's going to be, again, just about 10 laps. So, should probably have tried and saved another hard here, but again, that's if you want to min-max. I kind of forgot about it for this track. But going soft to hard might actually be the play here. So what I'm thinking is that we're going to start on the softs, and then we'll go into the hards, and then we'll see if we can make something happen. So let's start with this one as the base. We'll put on the hards. And let's just equip it first so we can see what we expect to lose or gain in terms of time. So just merely switching to the hard stats, because he saved us about 5 seconds. Now if we move this up a little bit, looks like we actually are at the sweet spot around lap 20. So let's say that we go onto the hards around lap 18 maybe. Gonna have to check on Stroll here when this strategy actually pits. It's actually lap 20, okay. So as long as we jump lap 18, 19, we can probably get some jumps with strategy, but as you can see, I think this is just the best one. Just switching the medium to the hard. It is slightly quicker. As you can see, starting on the mediums and then going longer on the hard is potentially a second longer. But the reason why we want to get on the hard early is actually incredibly simple. It'll allow us to jump cars potentially, but of course then we'll have to... Sorry, I'm trying to think 2 things at once. That'll depend on if we can get good gaps where we can actually run, faster in. So that's going to be depend on that. In terms of Stroll, we're probably going to have to take one more set of penalties during this season, because right now he's currently running 62. We could use this, but as you can see, these engines are basically worn. And not only that, but his gearbox he has 3 broken ones. So we are going to have to take at least a gearbox penalty and probably an ERS penalty. So we're going to be taking one more penalty for Stroll at some point. When that point will come is a completely different question. Red Bull, Alpha in the front. Could be problematic for us. Stroll starts 7. Has Sainz Bottas ahead of him. Then we have Magnussen for Latifi. Latifi already making a move. In terms of strategy here, Bottas and Sainz, as well as Hamilton, are on the same tire as us. Magnussen, Rick, not Magnussen, and Tsunoda. So that could create some madness, but Latifi has a good start. He already gained 2 positions.
Okay,
Got the 2 Alpines to contend with, and for us, we're actually in... I say we're still in a fairly good position. The softs ahead of us are going to be slower, so I'd like to get by them if we can. But understandably, that's going to be probably a bit rough here. The main concern is, again, that Verstappen is just going to pull away from everyone. And that's going to be painful for us. Latifi for the fastest lap. But yeah, if Verstappen manages to pull away from Gasly, which it doesn't look like he's about to do right now at least, that could be bad for our, well, at least winning chances. But then again, unless Verstappen has a broken car, I don't think we stand much of a chance on that one anyways. So let's just have a quick look here at Verstappen's car. If the gearbox gets yellow during the race, that could be good for us. But right now, I think we're just gonna try and maintain until lap 20 when we're gonna be pitting. So we'll tune things down a little bit. We'll save up a bit of fuel for when we get there, and we'll see if this DRS train stays as one big DRS train. Right now, we're running last. We are getting gap down to Hamilton though, so we'll see if Latifi can stick with them. He probably should have no problem. It's basically if the Mercs are going to be fighting a lot or not, but I think we'll be fine. So let's speed things up to the first pit stop and see where we stand once we get there. We've had an incident with multiple cars crashing, yellow flag so far. If this is a safety car, we might actually take a chance pitting, but it looks like everyone is moving, seeing that Albon is,
Let's take a closer look. Now
is,
just focus
as I
on
said,
the
moving.
house.
Even if you don't get a safety car, this could... Okay. That was a very weird crash. Didn't even see them touching. Even if we don't get a safety car here, which we won't, it's actually still positive for us because it helps break up that DRS train. As you can see, it's still just 3 DRS trains here. The main one, the second one, and then the third one. So the fact that there are DRS trains like this does give us a bit of a problem. Because when we pit, we want to have free air, and we want to be able to move upwards quickly. So right now, because that DRS train kind of lost two of its drivers, it's actually benefiting us from a pitting early perspective. So we'll have to see though. Right now, if Magnussen loses contact, Rick loses contact, that could also help us out a bit. But we'll see. It's still, everything is still up for grabs. We are currently at lap 18. This is kind of where we might want to, get the pit stop in. It is a couple laps earlier than anticipated. Well, 20 was when it is anticipated. It's probably when Bottas and Sainz, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Tsunoda will pit. But if we were to pit Stroll now, we actually do have 2 sets of hards. What am I even saying? We'd actually come out pretty close to the bank, which is not surprising. But because we actually have 2 sets of hards, we can actually do some fun stuff. If we have a safety car later, we can go in another set of hards. But we're just going to be pitting everyone in. As you can see, we're expected to actually come out around Vettel and Show, which is fine. That's an 11-second gap, provided we beat them. So we'll have to see if we can do that. There was a yellow there too, so I think we just had a bit of a better gap for us there. Albon locked up. But we are going to gamble on getting the pit stops done. Did I? I did set up a pit stop for Latifi as well. See if Stroll actually comes out. As long as we get out ahead of Vettel, I'm going to be happy. For Stroll. And we're going to slot in actually behind Albon for Latifi. But this should be okay. We can still make something out of this, particularly because Stroll got out in a very nice gap. He is now 12 seconds worth of fresh air. We are going to be pulling some of the quote-unquote slower cars with us. But I think this is more than worth it. As you can see, Bottas and Sainz are pitting. I don't know if Stroll's going to beat them out. Probably not. Maybe Bottas? No. Oh, yeah, no. Vettel, though, did overtake both of us, and that is actually a problem with Sainz now running ahead. So we should have pitted even a lap earlier than this. Because right now we have both Bottas and Vettel being kind of annoying, but they are on the mediums, so they're going to be losing out in terms of tires pretty quickly. But at the same time here, Vettel is probably going to be a bit of a bollard for us, so we might need to just harvest with Stroll, try and work our way up. Latifi is getting closer to Albon. He should overtake him with no issues. But of course, the main issue is, can we beat any of the medium runners out now? And if we're going to be stuck behind Vettel, that's going to make that difficult. Ocon does pit. Vettel does pit too. Benefits us greatly here.
Fastest lap.
And the question now is, can we get by Bottas before wasting too much time and chase down Sainz and have him pull so long? Because if we can't, we're going to suffer. So Latifi gains 2 positions due to the pit stops. He actually did get out ahead of everyone. This is kind of being a bit of a bollard, which is beautiful. And looks like we just didn't have enough speed there to get Bottas. But we are gaining on Stroll slightly. So all in all, I think we can just run neutral for now. Don't really have too much we can push here. We can, of course, burn tire by pushing fuel. But I want to save that card for a little bit later. And in terms of lap times, we are running, as you see, 8 tenths, 9 tenths quicker than Verstappen. Running quicker than anyone ahead of us except for Bottas here. So you can imagine that when they pit, they are going to come out behind us. And that is the whole idea behind getting on the hards early. So let's see if anything else interesting happens during this race. We'll be back once basically the rest of the team starts pitting. Norris and Verstappen has just pitted from the lead. And it looks like we're going to beat Norris out, but not Verstappen. So almost worked. Verstappen went on to softs though, which is going to struggle. So that's not great for him. Norris also went on to softs, so this is going to be a bit of an interesting one. They're going to be quick, for sure. But if we have Verstappen driving this DRS train for us, that's actually going to benefit us greatly. But we actually got held up there by, I think, Gasly? So Gasly came out of the pits and held us up, and, well, that's going to suck, because we now need to try and close down to Verstappen before he gets away from us. And if we can't, it's basically game over for that DRS train, and I think it already is. So that sucked massively. Should still be able to jump Perez. Leclerc might actually block us again. I think he did. And that'll allow Gasly to overtake us again. So yeah, not the best sequence of events there. But we did get some jumps done here during the pit stops. We have Latifi now running 8th, but he's probably going to struggle to keep up with Perez, I think. I was pushing fuel a tad bit here. If we can leave behind the Mercs, that would actually be amazing. And we're also going to have to try and recharge Stroll so we can make a bit of a attack here towards the end. Because these are, these softs are going to be pretty gone by the time we get to the last few laps. Now, the hards aren't going to be all sunshine and rainbows either. But I think we'll be potentially just a tad bit quicker. Well, at least equal. So for now, I'm going to try and get Stroll charged up. We're going to try and keep Latifi with Perez. And we'll see if we can fight for, well, 2-point scoring positions here. We've had an incident once again here. Multiple cars have crashed. Battle with a lockup. And that could benefit us quite a bit here, if there is a safety car. Doesn't look like there will be one though. Just straight up a penalty.
Let's see what happened there. Now watch this. Here's the moment involving Albon.
That did look kind of brutal though, so if Albon is still alive, he's probably pretty slow. I would assume the gearbox is more or less done. We have a recharge, we have a bit of fuel. There's a few laps remaining here. I think with 2 laps to go, we're going to try and make a charge. Basically, we want them to use as much of their tyre as possible. We want to have as much fuel, tyre, and of course energy as possible for ourselves. And we'll try and make a move with that in mind. Latifi had no chance sticking with Perez, as you can see. Perez has already gained a good 8 seconds. So yeah, we tried with energy, we tried with fuel, didn't work. Basically, Perez was a bit too quick. But we are still holding on to the group in front. We still have some chances here, potentially 4th. And we are hoping. Now, I did want to check quickly Albon, because he got rear-ended pretty hard there. How much damage did that do to his gearbox? Looks like it didn't actually do anything. See, in-lap, out-lap. Yeah, no damage registered, which I guess is good for him. How about Vettel? Not really any damage, as far as I can see. But I should get back to the race before we get to the end here. So, technically, we're just running 4 laps remaining now. So I'm thinking this is when we start to try and make a move here. I'm going to delay it 1 more lap just so we have enough. That way we can run aggressive on the tires, aggressive on the fuel, and overtake. And we are running pretty close now to the cars in front. We had a couple of incidents where we were struggling to keep up earlier on. So I think this just tells us that we are getting into that window now where we can try and make some moves. So let's see if we can do something with just aggressive pushing for now. And once we get to a straight, we're going to give him all the energy, see if we can get some overtakes done. Because we are running, as I said, pretty close here. So we've got 1 overtake done. Can we get another one here? Not right here, but here maybe.
And there's an overtake from Williams. Let's
See what Stroll did to Gasly.
It's Lance Stroll.
So energy and a little bit of extra push there gave us the edge into the corner. But I think we lost it. No, actually, we didn't lose it again. We actually got another one. Okay. This is good. We're now up to where we wanted to be. The question is, can we keep this position, or are we going to immediately get re-overtaken? It does look kind of, flimsy. We might have done the move a bit too early there. A lap too soon. And Norris might get us into the corner. And he will. We'll go attack. We'll go push. And we'll see if we can get him back. And it looks like that is going to happen. Latifi, we're just gonna let him do his own thing. No matter what we do here, unless there's an incident, we're not getting him in the points. And main concern here now is actually fuel. So let's tune that down.
Increase, lift and coast.
Because running aggressive on your tires does actually also increase your fuel usage. So be a bit careful with that. But right now we are looking good. We are running away from Norris. And honestly, 4th place is not bad. Starting 9th. Bit of a shame there with, of course, the fact that we got blocked by Gasly coming out of the pits. But at the same time, we'd have a hard time sticking with. And even if we did, it would have been a longer DRS train, I think. Right now it is looking good though. We are going into the final corner. Still got Norris pretty close here, so he could get us with DRS if we are unlucky. We don't really have energy to, you know, hold him back, so we'll have to see if this is a photo finish or not. Okay, we're safe.
That's the flag.
I was a bit worried there. Also, would have been kind of sad if he beat us photo finish and I had the wrong camera angle. But here we are, 4th and 11th. Honestly, 4th place is not bad. We'll take it. We also have the big upgrades coming next time. McLaren scoring points with both their drivers, Ferrari both drivers, one Red Bull, both Red Bulls, sorry, and an Alpha, which means that we're still 2nd, which is respectable. And in the constructors now, we are gaining on 3rd, but again, Ferrari is going to be a tough nut, but fighting for 3rd is very much a positive. Hit a decent chunk of money as well. Regulation mode. Let's see what is going on here. Financial changes. We can vote for that. Doesn't really matter. It's just a cost cap. Chassis has been manufactured. Good. We're back up to 4, which is what we like to be at. We are exceeding expectations with our result and Monza, which is also good. Race sim refurbish complete, also very nice. And here comes the best part. We're going to get the underfloor, but we're also going to get the... let's just quickly refurbish the team hub here. But we're of course also going to get the wings very, very soon here in a day. So let's just get a new project going. Let's see, these are the Sidepods, I guess. And we might want to focus a little bit on cooling here. I think the Sidepods also is CFD wind tunnel approved, so we'll put that in. And as you can see, it doesn't really have an effect on cooling, so this one will be race performance. We'll just have to do cooling some other time. But as you can see, we can probably do that starting a little bit next season, but for now we'll do race performance. It's just better. Wind tunnel doesn't really have any effect on cooling. And I think we'll just do 4. So that we can get our engineers a little bit better split around. I probably should check the calendar and see how many engineers I should put on it to get it before, you know, a race. But, well, I didn't. We're also going to start the manufacturing of said underfloor, which will actually be, I think, quite a sizable upgrade. Yeah, it'll be very good for our low speed, medium speed. So we can be very happy about that. Let's get 4 of them in here, 10 days. We can rush them and make sure that we have spares for the race. I think we're going to do that. It's just safer. And now we're going to get the front and the rear wing, which is also going to be pretty great. And once again, we do need to focus a bit more on cooling going forward. So let's first get 4 of them made. Should be no problem getting them made for the race. And honestly, we'll just do the same here for the front wing. We'll make 6. We'll have 4 for the race. Unless they really, really go for breaking them, I think we'll be okay. We do, of course, also then need to make new projects. And I think the thing we're missing right now is suspension and chassis. So we'll do those. Now, for the chassis, we can actually do some optimized cooling. Get this stat a little bit further up, but it's actually going to hurt us in terms of, you see, race pace. It's actually going to hurt us quite a bit. So we could go optimized aero, could go just balanced. Race performance is the only way we get better performance. Optimized cooling, it's a very, very minor drop as you can see, just 0.0 something percentage. Drag, this should also be very, very minor. So I think we're just going to go optimized cooling. I know it's engine, so it doesn't really matter that much, but at the same time, it's nice to have, I guess. Now, suspension actually do have an important cooling factor, and that is the brakes. So we're going to do optimized cooling on this one for sure, and it's going to hurt our other stats quite a bit. But I think with the new underfloor, with the new wings, we can live with that. And to be fair, we do need to do some optimized cooling loops here, because currently, well, we have 36% in attributes. Well, 42 expertise, but at the same time, we're going to have to do a couple of just cooling iterations for at least the brakes. Sorry, suspension. But yeah, I'm interested in just how the new car is going to be looking. We're going into Singapore, which, of course, the AI is notoriously bad at handling in terms of their strategy. Of course, putting points on underfloor is just the most efficient one. I honestly don't know what I want to do here. Just have drag protection in the downforce, maybe. A bit unsure. Get pick crew management up for our race engineer, brings it up to 90. And we're probably going to keep these lads for the most part. We'll have to see if we do something with the technical chief and aerodynamics men, but I might just keep them. The financial vote failed, which isn't that much of a surprise. It's kind of what you'd expect. Railwing has been manufactured. Good. So let's just get the performance skip, and then we'll go in and equip the new pieces to our car. So the front wing alone will, as you can see, be a bit of a detriment to low speed cornering, but it will help the high speed one quite a bit, which is what we like to see. But to be fair, not really necessary for this track. Yeah. Oh, I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. I hope I didn't manufacture the wrong one for the other ones as well. Okay, so for those of you... Well, let me explain why I'm an idiot. I made the wrong front wing. So even if we rush it, we won't get it in time, but we'll rush it because we're going to need it for the next race. It's actually good for this track that we didn't get it, because that front wing is actually focused on, you know, something else. Now, I'm worried that I might have done this with other things too, but hopefully I haven't. So, rear wing focused on low speed cornering, makes us the second best team for low speed cornering, third best team for medium, which is going to be, you know, pretty important for this track. It's Singapore, street circuit with a lot of slow corners. The underfloor is actually going to make us the best team for low speed cornering and third best for medium. And we're going to keep that also for dirty air. Sorry, not third best for cornering, second best for medium. So we now have a car that is quick on acceleration, second best. Very good in the corners, still lacking on the high speed, still lacking with DRS. But we now have a car that is very, very good. And I'm kind of scared of letting Latifi run this car around the track. Now, before we go, let's just have a look at what we'd be looking at if we had that front wing done. So we'd still be the best team on the grid in terms of low speed cornering. We'd get a bit of an improvement on the medium speed dirty air. We'd get an improvement on the high speed, both dirty air and, of course, cornering. So it's still good. It's a bit of an upgrade. But this is probably going to make our car quite good. But let's go to Singapore and see if we can eke out maybe a victory. Upgrades did not really manifest themselves in the way we were hoping for. Let's be honest here, we qualified 15th and 10th. Not really any issues during qualifying. We were just slow. Nothing more to it. Which is very unfortunate because the car is very, very good. But apparently we can't actually get any... You know, we don't actually see any of that performance. As you can see, one stopper is what we expect from everyone. Soft, medium, or soft, hard, medium, soft. And in terms of performance here, again, the softs just are incredibly good. They'll be quicker than mediums for about 30 laps. And the softs too hard will be quicker for about 15. So with that in mind, we do want to stay on the softs as long as possible. It's basically guaranteed we're going to get a safety car or a red flag. And the pit lane here is long, 29 seconds. So what we're going to do is start on the softs. We're going to stretch them to lap 30 if we need to. And then we'll go on the mediums and basically take it from there. We could also, of course, go on the hards, but I think just going on the mediums is better. It's going to benefit us more. We're still starting 10th and 14th. So what I'm thinking is what we do this. Stretch this to, as you see, lap 30. And just stretching this soft stint is going to give us basically that pit stop back. So yeah, you can imagine just how much screwed up strategy for this. I'm actually surprised I haven't updated that yet. In terms of the car, as I said, we still have an incredibly quick car. It is still, remember, we're looking at Stroll's car. That's why it says 4th. Second, reality here is if we switch over to Latifi's car and do this, we'll get what we expected. We're still the second quickest car in terms of speed. We're still Russia looking at Japanese Grand Prix. We want to look at Singapore. So the fact that we ended up 10th here is very disappointing because, again, the car is quick, the car is good. So the only thing I can assume is that they aren't used to the parts yet, and that might actually backfire. That's the only thing that makes sense. But not much we can do about that. Not going to overfuel the car. We're going to leave things as is. And let's see now if we can make up some places from the get-go.
Clear skies. And this is it. The Singapore Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Okay. That one actually took penalties, so I assume it's a 3-place grid penalty. Stroll looked like he was finding some heroics there. Does not look like it paid off though. And with that, we're actually off here now. In terms of tyres, everyone is on the softs except for Schumacher. Schumacher doing something different.
And there's an overtake from
So we'll have to see here now exactly how things are going to progress. We want to get up the grid as quickly as possible. Everyone is going to be pitting around lap 12, 14. We do want to try and get up there, but as I said, we're weirdly slow compared to the stats that we are supposed to have here. So I might actually just tune down the fuel usage, because we want to kind of save these tires if we can, because as I said, we're going to be running twice as long as everyone else and potentially make up a pit stop by doing so. So we'll see how things play out. For now though, DRS about to get activated. We've used a lot of energy, so I'm thinking we're gonna just keep things running to the first pit stop. Again, I'm surprised that we are this slow. It's actually, you know, kind of weird for me, but I guess we needed that a little bit of a boost in the high-speed corners here. There are just a couple of them, so that might actually be what slows us down. But for now, we are going to just allow things to speed along, and we'll see where we stand once we get to that first set of pit stops. We're now getting into the pit stop territory. Albon has already pitted. We have Norris pitting. Perez has already eked out a 7-second gap out front, which is going to be hard to beat. And as you can see, we're actually 5 seconds behind second place as well. Hamilton kind of got left behind, Gasly got left behind. We haven't actually tried to make any moves. We've been trying to save our tires as much as possible. Because once everyone pits, which should be basically now, unfortunately, with the crash. As long as it's just a yellow, we'll be okay. Schumacher.
Right, watch this. There's Schumacher.
Did his spin? Oh, nope. Head first. But yeah, they're pitting. 3 of them did. And we do now have potentially DRS on Hamilton, which should allow us to overtake him. But yeah, 6 cars pitted. We should see more pitting shortly, I would assume. And, well, as they do pit, it's going to make our life a bit easier. So, Leclerc pits. Still can't get by Hamilton, so we're going to give the overtake. Do need to try and get by him. We're losing time behind. And, again, the play here will be... Well, the hard tire runners will run through the end, unless we get safety cars. And they'll be very, very slow. So, as long as they go into the hards, we're going to be very, very happy. Perez pits now. Everyone but Hamilton and Verstappen pits. So, I say we're in a good position. Paris goes under the medium. He's going to be a bit of a problem. I guess most of the medium runs are, but Paris in particular because he got out ahead of the hards. But then again, fighting Paris would be fighting for the win, which is going to be difficult. But right now everyone's pitted. It is lap 18, so a bit later than I expected. But we are going to be staying out on these softs for as long as we can. So unless we get a safety car or some other weird incident, we're just going to keep on running them. And as you see, Paris actually set fastest lap here, and he's running half a second quicker than us, so he's still fairly quick. Leclerc, on the other hand, is running about 7/10 slower, and we're 41, 42.1, 42.6, so about the same lap speeds as most of the cars behind here for Latifi. Stroll running about half a second quicker, but as you can see, the Red Bulls, we don't have any chance of beating them. They're still running 6/10 half a second quicker, both of them, than we are. So what we could actually do here is have them tow Latifi, hopefully, and thus potentially give us a better chance towards the end here. But they're going to be on the mediums. They're going to be won by the time we get to the second pit stop, and hopefully we can, as I said, extend this gap here. Last lap, Russell actually gained half a second. All of them did, actually, so yeah, could be that this is going to backfire horribly, but we'll see. We'll try and stick it out for, well, probably a bit longer, but then again, it is a long DRS train right now. If we're going to pit early, this would probably be the time to do it. Basically, the gamble here now is, do we pit, try and get out ahead of that DRS train? Or do we stay the course and try and pick our way through it? It's going to be really difficult to pick our way through it, I think. We could also, of course, have a lucky safety car. 6 laps. I think we're going to gamble and stay out. And we'll see if we get a safety car here, maybe. We'll still aim at pitting around lap 30. Does unfortunately not look like we can get that lucky safety car. But right now, Russell is the only one that's lapping quicker than us. Leclerc is actually a bit slower. Latifi, though, is not safe, so I think we're going to pit him first. But I think we're going to keep Stroll out for a lap more. Well, one more lap, basically. So we're going to get Latifi in now in this following lap. He is with Verstappen, but he got immediately left behind by Perez. So I expect much of the same here with Verstappen. So we're going to get Latifi in. We're going to have Stroll do a full attack lap, and then we'll get him in. We don't really have any choice on that matter in particular. We try to also push fuel, so we could get a bit more of a, you know, gap. But it's gonna be rough here. I think we are gonna, Latifi for sure is gonna come out at the back of the pack pretty significantly there. 35 seconds in the pit lane. So Stroll here is not gonna have a good time. Let's be honest. He's gonna come out at the back there too, I think. If we beat Leclerc and Norris by some miracle, that would be amazing. But at this point, I wouldn't count on it. Yeah, not happening here. We gambled and we did not get the payoff we were hoping for. Now we do have better tires than the cars in front of us, just barely. But yeah, it's not a good situation here. We gambled and it did not pay off. We do want to try and overtake and get by Gasly, but pretty quick there. He's actually was getting left behind there in the DRS train for a sec, but he's back in it now. So we'll see what we do here. Potentially throwing away something by staying out a bit more than we should. But at the same time, I felt like in Singapore it's a gamble that you can take. And again, we are way slower than I was hoping for with the car upgrades that we have. DRS disabled. We have a safety car. Don't actually know what happened. Looks like Verstappen is out. That could benefit us quite a bit here. Now, what I'm thinking is that we actually do pit, particularly Stroll. We'd probably lose out a little bit here. 15 seconds. Can we actually get out ahead there? 16 seconds. It'd be a gamble, but we could make that work. And if we get on the softs here, that could definitely benefit us. I think it's worth it just getting on the softs because they are going to be quicker for the remainder of the race. And it is a safety car. We've already done one gamble. What's another? The only problem here for Stroll is that he doesn't really have any fresh ones. These have all ran 3 laps, but I still think it's worth it. Let's push as you can to set safety line. Well, pit stop. And hopefully
Now here we see
we can take a bit of an
Max Verstappen.
advantage. Okay, so we got a better angle this time. He sent it right into the wall. So yeah, we're going to gamble, see if we can get in, get out before the cars behind us. It's going to be close. Probably too close, but I do like to do a gamble. Yeah, it's going to be way too close. Look at that. That was pretty bad, but we're going to hope for at least some sort of luck here. To be fair, we were probably still going to get kind of stuck. We were going to have a bit of a tire advantage, but I do love myself a good gamble. We're going to just keep on recharging until we get to, well, safety car in. Hopefully not this lap, but this next lap, and that should be okay. We're not going to push Latifi immediately, unfortunately, because that means he'll be fighting Stroll. But we do have fuel. Honestly, we could try and get Latifi ahead of Stroll.
Safety car in this
That would
lap.
probably be beneficial.
Safety car in this lap.
Copy.
But what I am thinking here is that before DRS kicks in, we're going to be pushing fuel, and we are going to be trying our best to get some overtakes done. And as I said, we're not going to get Latifi immediately. We're going to allow Stroll to try and get a move done first. Hopefully he can. And if he can't, I'm going to be sad. We immediately got Alonso. Can we get another one? Ocon is up ahead.
And a new position.
Not really.
Just gained
See
by
how we took
Williams.
Alonso.
Let's take a closer look. Now we see the Williams here.
We almost had both drivers there, just sending Alonso immediately. Stroll is still fighting Ocon though, so hopefully we can get something done. Because there is potentially a gap is starting to form with Sainz, and I'd really like to be ahead of Ocon if that gap does materialize.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
We have a virtual safety car and an overtake.
That's a VSC.
See what happened here?
Yeah.
Perez with a crash. That's gonna actually help us a bit.
This. There's Sergio Perez.
This could be beneficial. Sorry. Clicked out of habit there. Well, actually wanted to see what happened to him. Would assume it's, yeah, front wing gone. Might be the same thing that happened to Verstappen. So yeah, sorry for skipping that replay. Sainz though is kind of getting left behind. It's worrisome, but with the VSC here, again, I don't really want to recharge. I've had my cars falling back a lot earlier on, so it's more just a safety precaution. But the VSC actually does benefit us because it gives us more chance to overtake Ocon, overtake Rick, closer to Sainz. And of course it saves time and fuel, which doesn't really benefit us too much, but it is helpful. Virtual safety car is ending soon, so let's just get up to racing speed. Are we going to send it immediately here?
VSC ending. VSC ending.
So I'm going to allow Latifi to attack Stroll, although it's probably not a good idea. We actually have DRS immediately, so that was me misremembering the rules. That was my bad. I thought we'd have 2 laps before, you know, DRS got re-enabled. We are struggling to get the pass here on Ocon, but I think the fact that we're being aggressive does put him in a position where he is losing time to defending. And I do want to get Latifi by quickly too, if we can. It would help. Stroll gets Rick. We do need to get Sainz immediately if we can. And we could, if we can stay there. Because now we can actually start charging down the cars in front of us. So we're actually doing a good job here. Latifi, though, is going to get left behind here because we are going to be pulling Sainz along.
ERS is currently disabled.
And I did use a little bit too much of the ERS.
Copy.
But Sainz actually did lose DRS right now, so we're actually looking good from that perspective. Now, I am going to go balance on fuel, we're going to harvest, and then we're going to try and pick our way through this second DRS train. Which is going to be painful. That's just how it's going to be. But we do have better tires, and honestly, they are 90% of the race in this track, as it turns out. Latifi should be getting by Science, he did. And since we're recharging, I should have no problem actually catching up to Stroll, because we're also stuck in a DRS train, so we're just going to have Latifi recharge too. And probably in a lap or two, we'll have Stroll go offensive here, but we are going to be trying to pick our way. Actually, we're going to have him do it right now. Because as you can see, Magnussen has actually gotten detached here. So potentially we do have an opportunity to push through a bit here. We do need to get Magnussen quickly, is what I'm getting at here, because, well, the longer we're behind him, the bigger the gap to the front is going to grow. So we got Gasly there, pretty good. Next is, of course, Magnussen himself, and we did get him here. Gonna run neutral for a couple laps here. Harvest wants to get to the back of the DRS train. And for Latifi, I think we can go overtake and try and get him a little bit further up the road. Probably should tune down his fuel usage while, of course, harvesting. But it's good, we can do that after this. We can actually go balance now, I think, because Magnussen is getting left behind again. So if we can get Latifi by him, that would help us out a bit at least. And we're going to give him overtake. We're going to recharge on Stroll. Kind of troublesome here handling both of them. We do have 14 laps, so we still have plenty of time to, you know, work our way up the pack. And I think we're going to recharge Latifi as well. He is part of the DRS train. Magnussen is once again getting left behind. So I think we're okay to do that. Now, there are actually some very favorable gaps for us here, because it's just around a second between Norris, Bottas, Leclerc. So I think we'll actually just get the move done on this next lap, trying to get by Hamilton and Leclerc. I think it's doable. So once we get into this first corner, we're going to go overtake, we're going to go push. Latifi can still just recharge for a couple more laps here until Stroll gets the job done. There we go, Hamilton. And we should easily dispatch of Leclerc, basically immediately. And we did. Gonna go back neutral, balance, and allow now Stroll to close down the gap. Would love if he left Leclerc behind, to be fair. So I probably should have push on the fuel a little bit longer. But it looks like we did just barely leave him behind there for the DRS. Now this means that we now have the move for Latifi. See if he can do the same thing. We did start him off a bit later than we did Stroll, but I think Latifi can get it done. Hamilton and Leclerc didn't actually get either, but Stroll did get Bottas without any aid. And now it's actually just running up to Russell and Norris. So we did give Latifi kind of a, you know, a rough job here, but I think he'll get a job done, hopefully soon. Fingers crossed. Stroll is up into the podium. He has DRS access to the cars in front, and we'll just have him recharge. So Latifi has gotten Hamilton now. Still needs to get Leclerc, so I think he'll get him on the DRS here now. There should be no problem with that. Well, maybe the next DRS section. There we go. Latifi did get him, so now he'll chase down Bottas. Now Stroll here is, as I said, running podium. We do actually have Bottas behind us, so kind of want to get away here while we still can. And we'll go neutral, and we'll start pushing at the end of this straight for the overtake for Bottas. And Latifi actually does need to recharge, so we'll just let him do it. He can stick behind Bottas for a little bit. And honestly, if he does, that would actually benefit us. Stroll up into second. Can he get Norris into this corner? Nope. Straight. Should be no issue though, so let's deploy. And I want Stroll here to just get that second gap to Norris as quickly as he can. Probably won't get it before this first DRS straight, but that actually benefits us. There's quite a bit of There's quite a bit of a gap now between the positions, which is going to help Latifi down the line. And that is kind of the idea here. So Stroll, if fuel is an issue. Let's just put him on ballast now. If Norris closes down, we can deal with that later. But right now, we're going to be focusing on Latifi. We have about 7 laps to go. And we do have some overtakes that we need to do. And basically, the best scenario here would be that Bottas got left behind, so he can't use DRS. But that is going to be a bit of a rough one for us, I think. Let's see if we can put enough pressure on him that he slows down enough that we can actually get that done, though. Might be the way that we're going to have to do this. Yeah, we're just not getting the runs that we need here to get by. We do have tyre, though, that we can use if we need to. But I want to just try once more here with the little energy that we have. And see if we can get him into this corner. We could not, so we're going to have to recharge, and that's going to probably be a pretty bad scenario here for Latifi because that DRS train has formed now. And that's going to make it a bit rougher to overtake. But what I'm thinking is that we'd recharge for probably one more lap. Then we'll go aggressive on the tyres. We'll go aggressive on the fuel. And we'll try and get by Bottas and maybe even Russell. And then we'll just strike on Norris or Russell, depending on if we get the move done for the final lap. I think that is a good idea. Well, probably not a good idea, but at least an okay idea. So recharge for one more lap. Lap 59 we do the attack. Lap 60 we recharge. Lap 61 we try and get the others. It's gonna be pretty close here, I think. Okay, neutral, push, aggressive. See if we can get a bit of a run here now. Then we go overtake. With all the aggressiveness that we had there, it actually did pay off. And we have kind of close up to Russell here, so can we get another move done now on the straight here? Not really. But we are close, we are fighting. And I think we are going to run neutral now for a lap. Let's be honest, we can stay aggressive to the end. That's fine. We are going to recharge for final lap here. And that should be good enough that we can actually get now... We actually got Norris without trying. That's amazing. Let's keep that balance. Let's keep it aggressive. We should be quick enough that we shouldn't get re-overtaken, is what I think. I don't want to touch this anymore because it sends Latifi into the wall when you change him, I feel. But we did get the overtake on Norris done. We're up into second. And
this will be the last
well,
one coming up.
It was a bit harder than I thought to get here. But we are currently running 1-2. As expected, but the journey here was way harder than I thought it would be. And again, we are allowing Norris to run close to us. I don't want to take any chances of pushing Latifi too hard, having him stand in the wall. We're still lacking a bunch of cooling. But there we are. Stroll has won. Latifi gets second. And we can be incredibly happy with that. Also, both Red Bulls didn't get points. Both of them made an error, so understandable. But we did get a good result here. But again, we started 10th. Well, we started 10th and 14th. 13th? 14th. Which is way further down than I expected, particularly considering that we have a incredibly good car for this track. So yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment. McLaren scores points, Ferrari scores points, the Merc score, McLaren, Alpha. And we do gain a lot on Verstappen though, which is 13 points behind now. Latifi moves up to 13th. And in the Constructors stand, we're now up into 3rd place, 14 points ahead of Alpha. And 24 points behind Ferrari. So we do still have opportunities here. But yeah, I did not like the looks and quality there. Again, we have a good car, but we're just a bit too slow in terms of driving. But yeah, softs are just a bit too strong in Singapore, almost like cheating. Fouché does also have a couple of points, so we could put them in reactions. We did put a point for Latifi in braking. As said, we're going to bring him up to 92, and then we'll start doing the balance thing. It's a bit late to actually start doing that, to be fair, but I think that's the best way of doing things. Okay, Boyd was happy with us. Very nice. We are going to get the new front wings. As I said, it was just 4 days here to Japan, so we did kind of need to rush them out here. We're first in low speed, dirty air. Yeah, you'd expect this car to do a lot better, but I guess we're just lacking... That high-speed cornering is just hurting us a bit too much. Contracts ending soon. We'll just, as I said, reinstate them at the end of the season. And we do have the Japanese Grand Prix going next. But I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to end this episode here. Probably a bit shorter than expected, but I do unfortunately have to run. So... kind of forced here if I want to get everything prepped, but we'll see what happens with the final part for this season. I'll try and get it all bundled into one, maybe cut out a little bit more of the ornamental stuff. Again, Singapore race is probably going to be kept in almost its entirety, so we'll see what I do there. But thank you very much for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and let's hope the car does better than I did. So yeah, we'll see what we do in terms of changing that for next season. We still have 5 races. Could of course be possibility of winning, but I don't think so. But we might just change how we do things for next season. We're going to have more upgrades, so I'll think about it. We'll see what we do. But again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Bit of a shuffle there at the end. Been a busy day. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.